welcome to the show.
And welcome back to another episode of the AstrosFuture podcast here on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Price, also known as AstrosFuture. You can find my work at AstrosFuture.com. Find me on X at AstrosFuture.
I'm your co-host, Kenny Van Doren.
Joining us today is Astros prospect Anthony Huezo. Welcome to the show, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join us here.
Of course.
So we'll go way back, 2023. Drafted in the 12th round, ended up signing with the Astros, but getting that opportunity to play high school or play professional baseball right out of high school. Can you kind of tell us what went into your decision to sign with the Astros?
So purely my decision was just the love for the game, wanting to play in the big leagues. I never visioned myself playing in college. I always wanted to play pro ball. That was always the goal. So once that opportunity came about, it was kind of a no-brainer for me and my family.
With that as well, going into the draft, what were the expectations just for you, your family, your agency? What were you kind of hearing, talking to scouts? And was the plan always to just kind of forego college? And can you just walk us through those conversations with your family and what that looked like?
Yeah, for sure. So there was no determined conversation that we had oh, you got to get drafted. This is going to happen. It was kind of like we just played the game, let things happen the way it happened. And, this is just the way things have came about. Just went out there, I played the game. I got the opportunity to talk to scouts, talk to colleges. At first the goal was always to play Division I, go to college. But once the pro experience started to come about, it was like, wow, this is the real goal right here. This is what I was going to go to college for. Wow, this is happening now. Let's do it,
With that as well, you were committed to UC Irvine. I think this is always a fun thing when you can look back on guys, like Ryan Clifford as well, a year before you, being a Vanderbilt guy. Some of the other high schoolers that were committed. No one was committed to a school like the Anteaters. I'll just throw out a fun one there. Would that have been kind of cool too, to just say you played for the Anteaters, you got to stay close to home?
Yeah, of course it would have been cool. I think it would have been a great experience going over to play for UC Irvine and Ben Orloff. I heard they had a great team. I would have been playing with Chase Call, who was actually just drafted by the Astros last year. He's a great dude. I think it would have been a lot of fun.
So before we kind of go into this season and your full season experience, I know the first few years in the Astros system, you made a few appearances at Corpus Christi, Sugar Land, I think just when they needed some help up there. What were the conversations like before the Astros sent you on those assignments?
They were kind of out of nowhere. They were all kind of out of nowhere. Just got a late night call telling me I was going to go here to cover or wherever I was going to go. And, it was a no-brainer for me, of course. I was going to go there and just do what I do, have fun, enjoy the experience. I think the first year in pro ball, I went to Corpus in Nashville. And then last year, I got the chance to go to Sugar Land to cover for a game. And, it's just great experiences, just going there, taking it in, learning. Since I was in the FCL at the time, that was actually my first time, actually being in affiliate baseball. So I really just took advantage of those opportunities, learn from every level and just notice what the baseball is like.
Do you remember when you were in Corpus Christi, you were the youngest player in the Texas League? I think you were only there for 2 days, maybe one game. Just at those stops, just filling in, maybe not seeing the field as much, just kind of being able to pick the brains and see how those guys go about the routines. What did you learn the most that you could apply to your own game as you went back down to the FCL and you went to Fayetteville and maybe that stop in Asheville 2 years ago as well?
For sure. It was 100% the mental side of the game. You could tell how everybody has their own routines. Everybody has their own things that they need to go to get themselves ready for the game. And when the game comes, they just go out there and trust it. They're not questioning themselves. They're not questioning their abilities. They're just going out there and having fun and competing.
So looking at your journey through the system and some of the maybe, I don't know what you call them, setbacks or injuries, and ends up getting you to the point now where last year you make your full season debut fully with the Woodpeckers, starting back out this year. What have you kind of learned about yourself just through that journey from the draft in 2023 to where you're at now?
The number one thing is you can't play if you're not healthy, of course. So you definitely got to take a lot of responsibility for your body. You got to take care of it. You got to have a routine before you start practice. You got to do good with your recovery, talk to your trainers. and just really know what your body needs to go out there and perform.
I mentioned it earlier about guys that, from the recent drafts of, foregoing college, getting that opportunity to go to the minor leagues earlier than some others. Neymar Cho Jr., you guys went back-to-back rounds in that
That's
2020
right.
draft. How close have you guys been? I know it's been kind of, I wouldn't say linear, just because you guys have had different injuries, different setbacks, or maybe just different
Hmm.
paths, getting to everyday ball right now. I mean, how much
Right.
have you guys kind of leaned on each other through that? And I mean, how close have you guys gotten through this process?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're close, man. I mean, even though we haven't gotten a lot of opportunities to play together since we've gotten drafted, we have grown. It's it's the same grind. Me and him, we both came out of high school. We're both taking on this grind to grind our ways to the big leagues. So it's always supporting each other, giving each other little tips here and there, and just always pushing each other to keep going.
So looking at your numbers right now, I've noticed this. I think last year in Fayetteville and even this year is that you're like an extra base hit machine. Over half your
Yeah,
hits right now are extra bases, 9 doubles,
yeah.
3 triples, 6 homers. What kind of goes into just being able to get those extra bases? I mean, obviously, exit velocity is part of it, but is it taking the extra bag when you get an opportunity, or we just noticed that that's a trend, a good trend to have for sure.
For sure. I mean, it definitely is a point where if I make contact, it's definitely going to be hit harder into one of the gaps. And I do have speed where even if I do get that short blooper, I could stretch that into a double and, challenge the outfielders. That's a big thing this organization preaches is trying to go for that extra base, push the limit, put the pressure on the defense. And, that's just a big thing for me too. It's just playing the game hard, always looking to get that next 90.
So I noticed right now you're at 18 stolen bases, and it feels like the Astros have maybe made um, maybe an organizational change a little bit towards more stolen bases. I know the Woodpeckers have stolen a ton of bases so far this year. Has that been like kind of a driving point for the organization, maybe down in the single A level, is to try to steal more bases?
Yeah, for sure. They definitely told us before the season, like, look, we want to steal more bases this year. We want to be at the top, and that's just our goal right now. It's just getting that next bag.
Earlier, you mentioned availability. You can't do anything if you're hurt. You've played across the outfield, much of this year, playing in different spots. I mean, what's been kind of the focus for you positionally? Even going back to winter ball down under, you were making a lot of plays out there against some guys years older than you. I mean, what's been the focus just for you in the field?
The focus right now for me on the field is definitely my like the pre-pitch and the reactions to off the bat balls, and just having a good initial angle. It's definitely a big thing that I'm working on with the outfield coordinator right now. It's my pre-pitch and getting our hop timed up perfectly with the contact made. And I feel like I have been getting that down recently, and I've been seeing a lot of improvements on the field. It's been one thing that I've been working on for about 2 years now, so I'm very glad that it's coming together.
So you've been in the system now a few years, and I know probably all the coaches over the last few years have been instrumental to your improvements. But is there any singular coach that has really stood out or made a big impact on you?
Oh, for sure. I would say last year, Brandon Van Horn, our hitting coach, he was by far he just understood the game. I believe he understood what came along with hitting, the mental battles, the mental strains, and how to just go about it. He always said the right things, and he like sometimes in hitting, our mind just gets spiraled with information. He really just simplifies it for you and helps you understand what you really need to do.
So that's a perfect transition to the question I was about to ask next, which is sometimes we like to get to some fun questions, but I wanted to ask. I've seen him quote tweet a few things on X and says 107 Huezo. Where did that nickname come from? I'm assuming maybe it's something to do with exit velocity, but what's the
Yeah.
story behind that?
It was just behind the exit velocity. It seemed like every time I caught a barrel, it's 107, just 107 every single time. So that's just stuck to me. He always called me 107 Wazo.
It's a good nickname. And in the same vein, I was asked to ask you about this one. A few weeks ago, maybe a week ago, Fayetteville had like a WWE promotion, and they put you up on the
Hmm.
board, like face mashed with a wrestler. I was asked to ask about the L bones and what your finishing move would be if you were a wrestler.
My finishing move, I would have to take it away from the guy that they put my picture on, Roman Reigns. I would have to take the spear and just start going into somebody head first, like doing the little dive into them. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I saw it. That was an issue. I think y'all did a video too. The Woodpeckers did where maybe they asked you what your name would be. A bunch
Yeah,
of
it
the
would
guys
be L
had to.
Bones.
Yeah,
L
there you go.
Bones.
So I just thought about it. I didn't even think about this before the show, but we're talking about stolen bases, talking about your relationship with Neomar Ochoa, and it surprised me. I don't know if it surprised Kenny or some others, but he's a big guy, 6'4", 230 is
Oh
what they got
man.
him listed at, and he's got 18 stolen bases this year. Like, is that a surprise to see him kind of swipe those bags? I mean, obviously he's a good athlete, he's a professional baseball player, but was that kind of a surprise?
To be honest, no, it's not. It's not a surprise. Everybody knows that Neymar has got some sneaky wheels, and I think the only people that don't know is the other team. So
Hmm.
when he steals that bag, he just starts flying, and they're like, What even just happened?" You know?
That's awesome. So Kenny brought up playing in Australia this past winter, and he had some really good numbers down there. But outside of the baseball side, what was life like living in Australia, and any fun stories about playing over there in the Winter League?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It was a great experience. I had a lot of fun out there. I would say the team, just the experiencing the city. Sydney is beautiful. I would say it's a lot like New York. So when we got the chances to go down there and just spend some time at the beach, or just even walk around the city with some teammates, go to dinner, it was just a lot of fun. And even in the clubhouse, I feel like the guys they just molded together, and it was just a great experience. I wouldn't change it.
We've seen the Astros do that before, where they've sent guys down there. Was it more of the Astros' idea to send you down? I mean, were you kind of thinking about it as well? Just get some more reps. Walk us through that process too.
It was like a mutual decision. My agent at the time had recommended it to me, and the Astros had as well. And I had to give it some time to thought since I would be away from home for so long. But at the end of the day, I want to play ball, and I wanted to have some more ABs, get some more games in, and yeah, that's just the decision I landed on, is saying yes and going out there and balling out.
So looking at your roster, and we noticed that you're there with Jagger Beck, a pitcher that you're with the Woodpeckers right now. Obviously, it was a year after you in the draft. I think signed as an undrafted following the 24 draft. But what was that like with him, and kind of maybe building that relationship, and then now both of y'all getting that full season assignment to start 2026?
Definitely. So me and Jagger were roommates out in Australia, so we had a lot of time to get close to each other and get to know each other. It was a great time with him. We hung out, we spent time, we played the game together, so we had a lot of time to learn about each other.
You mentioned a couple of teammates just throughout this interview, but this is one we like to ask everyone. What's a tool that you would want to take from a teammate, someone else in the org you've played with, someone you played against in inter squads? What's something out there that you really like that someone else has?
Uh, I would have to say, let's think, because there's a lot of guys with a lot of tools that are really good. So if there's one thing I would have to pinpoint it on, is it's definitely like Xavier Nayan's power. And I just watch him take BP, and he's just putting balls over the fence. They're just flying all over the field, and it's very unbelievable.
So, kind of in the same vein, a pitcher we like to, or I mean, I'm sorry, a question we like to ask related to pitching, but you're playing on the defensive side, but is there a pitcher behind when you're playing behind them and you're watching a Woodpeckers pitcher go at it, and you're like, man, I'm glad I don't have to face that guy? Is there one that really stands out for you?
Oh yeah, the guy Rosario, man.
Oh yeah,
Rosario throws some feel. He throws some feel. And if I was in that box, I'd be scared for that hitter.
Did you face him at all in spring training?
No, I didn't get to face him. No.
Was there anyone in spring training that you faced on the Astros side that was just throwing gas that maybe you weren't expecting, you hadn't
Yeah.
seen before?
Yeah, Ryan Furcucci. Yeah, I got to face him in spring training, and it's not even just gas. His ball's moving up here, it's moving down there, and it's just crazy. It's crazy the things he does to the ball.
I got one more just on the pitching side, and you would know this more than anyone because we don't get to watch a lot of these games, but FCL games can kind of get out of hands just in different ways. Just, if it gets late and you might have to go in and pitch just to, save an arm. You pitched in the Florida Complex League. Do you remember much of that, just that one inning that you got out there?
No, I definitely remember. It's not a lot of chances you get to do that. So I definitely remember. Just got told to go up there and throw some strikes, and you know me. I tried throwing some pitches hard, which they weren't too happy about. But
That's what I
was
was
just
going to
having
ask
fun up
you.
there.
If you were lobbing like the eephus pitch, or if you're actually putting some speed behind it. Do you remember what you hit like on the radar gun?
Yeah, I think the highest I hit was only like 88.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, that's not
Do you
bad at all
remember
right
how you
there.
did?
I was just trying to put it in there.
Yeah.
I have it pulled up right now. Do you remember how you did?
I don't think they scored. Maybe one run. I'm not too sure.
No, you only allowed one base runner, and it was a walk.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you-
That's a backup
Maybe it's
plan
a
right
two-way.
there.
Maybe it's a
Two-way.
two-way, huh?
Heck yeah.
Do you know who Will Bush is? I mean, you know who he is, but have you crossed
Yeah.
paths with Will Bush at all? There's a photo
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. They had him pitch in a game, I think in Fayetteville once. He looked like a legitimate pitcher, like he was just going after it. And so there's been some guys in the lower levels last couple of years that have really embraced that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fun to go out there. You know, it's a weird thing. You're not expected to do much, so just go out there and kind of laugh at it.
All right, Anthony. Well, that's all we got. We appreciate you joining us today, and good luck the rest of the season.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for your time.
All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. As always, thank you so much for listening. We look forward to having you back for our next episode of the AstrosFuture podcast, covering your Astros in the minor league system.